Okay. Alvin Toffler, an American writer and futurist, once said, "The illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read or write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn." Today, I am refuting the claim that GE course requirements are unnecessary for a bachelor's degree in engineering majors. So, in response to the first secondary claim that many required GE courses are redundant, according to memoryloss.com, long-term memories fade as part of the natural forgetting process, which increases with age, stress, and illness. So I don't know about you guys, but high school was long enough ago for me to know that a lot of information I learned became unlearned. For example, AP US, I barely know anything about it right now. And although GE courses are similar to high school graduation requirements, they're not the same and offer more information about each subject. And despite how similar they may be to each other, the world is becoming more global. More info is being shared between borders and across oceans, and this is rapidly changing education, making general ed courses way more important. And according to the Greater Expectations National Panel Report, practical, liberal, or general education helps college students become intentional learners who can adapt to new environments, continue learning throughout their lives, and thrive in a complex world. And according to Harvard Research Associates that published Trends and Emerging Practices in General Education, GE courses cover many areas of knowledge and intellectual skills, such as writing skills, critical thinking, intercultural skills, information literacy, and the list goes on. Also, in response to the second secondary claim that GE requirements prolong obtaining a degree, there's no doubt that GEs increase your time at a university. And in addition to what I just said about some of the benefits of GE courses, they also provide backup in case you change career paths. And according to Duke Today, a survey of Duke alumni shows that 5 years after graduation, 83% work for a different organization, and 43% have changed their careers at least once. The surveyor, Sheila Curran, even went on to say that you shouldn't hyperventilate about your first job because it won't be your only job or career. So despite how GEs prolong obtaining a bachelor's degree, in today's world it's much more wise to have a broader knowledge as well as specialization as, say, engineering. Next, in response to the third secondary claim that GE requirements are economically inefficient in the long run, if GEs were completely unnecessary for engineers, then they would be a waste of money. But GEs aren't completely unnecessary. An article discussing the skills, attributes, and qualities of an engineer state that engineers must communicate effectively using both written and oral methods, be creative, analytical, and again, this list goes on. So these qualities are very much related to the Harvard Research Associates list of intellectual activities GEs aim to cover. And furthermore, even though GEs cost more than just studying for an engineering major, in the long run, you still make up the money spent on these GEs. And even as an engineer, you make it up even faster with a salary of 50 to 80 grand than, say, an anthropology or English major. So you should be happy about that. And GEs also provide a broad knowledge that will help in engineering, as stated earlier, and help if an engineer decides to switch careers and become an anthropologist or wherever the heart leads him or her. So to conclude, GE course requirements are necessary for a bachelor's degree in engineering majors because, one, as the world becomes more global, it's necessary to learn skills that enable you to adapt to new environments, and GEs help students do just that. Secondly, it provides a backup in case you switch jobs and careers, and that's definitely a very open possibility. And thirdly, it engages in intellectual activities that are used in engineering or in many other majors as well. Thank you.
All right, Rob, I thought the argument that you made was very clear and easy to follow. You did a good job presenting counterclaims on each of the points. I think you could use a little bit more analysis of the advocate's evidence on the first and the third point. On the second point, you basically acknowledged the truth of the time issue and the additional costs. I did like the way you tried to kind of give us a good counterpoint on that by suggesting that sometimes people's careers change, and so the notion that there's, you only need certain kinds of information is really a false premise. And that's the way I think you should explain it, is that the advocate is making arguments based on a lot of false assumptions. And then maybe some of the arguments, I think, like I said, they're good counterclaims, but I think some of the arguments would then be more applicable to the warrant that the advocate's using as well. Like I said, it's very clear to follow, and you did a nice job speaking to the audience. It's sharp and easy to hear you. You were definitive in expressing your point of view. I thought the summary was really good, because that's one of those things you want to leave people with a good impression at the end. Look, I know what I'm talking about. Here's the point that I've made, and that's why you should accept this position. That's the kind of thing that you want to have in a refutation. All right, thank you.